right, friends, listen up. Most local businesses, you could have a 10 out of a 10 company, but unfortunately, most make it a 2 out of 10, and we are going to fix that today. I remember when I first left corporate, I thought I was building a business, a consulting, coaching business. What I was actually doing was building myself another job. A really good paying job, but nonetheless, another job. If I didn't show up, nothing happened. If I didn't sell, nothing sold. If I didn't deliver, nothing got delivered. So I switched my business around and made it more of a business than a job. Then I jumped into helping everybody else figure out the same thing. And nearly a decade later, I've helped about 1,000 entrepreneurs make these same shifts. Because this is what so easily and naturally happens, is that really creative, amazing entrepreneurs have great ideas. I mean, billion-dollar ideas sometimes, right? But they don't build businesses, they build jobs. And with that, they don't just build a regular job, they build one with more hours, more risk, and more stress. So we're going to fix that starting today. So listen up. If I had a local business that I wanted to start right now, this is exactly how I would build it. And most importantly, I want it to be built so that you're not the only one as the owner operating, scaling, growing, selling, and everything else. All right. So this is the experiment, and today is going to be a little bit different. And this is a 4-part series. And the reason why the 4-part series is so incredibly critical is that over these next 4 weeks, we are going to talk about the following. Episode number 1, you're listening to right now, is all about, is this business worth starting? Episode 2 will be, how would I get the first 10 customers for this business? Episode 3 is how I would recreate or create recurring revenue for this business type. And 4, how would I build systems and a growth engine so it wasn't always owner dependent? Now, before you click away saying, I already own a business, that's fantastic, friends. You will absolutely gain so much from listening to this 4-part series that you can apply to even a growing, scaling business today. If you feel like you're a little bit in that owner trap where everything depends on you and you feel like you have that job. Now, you might be wondering, well, Michelle, what business are we going to start? And that is a fantastic question. So I decided to make this business a service-based local business. And I've been doing a ton of research because that's what I love to do. And there's this really cool category that's very simple to get a score of 10 out of 10 in terms of profit, exit potential, not having to be dependent on the founder. And that is what is called a senior concierge business. All right. So what does this business do? Well, it helps older adults stay independent longer while giving their families confidence that someone is checking in and helping with life's little challenges. It's really important that this is not home health care, not nursing, not assisted living, not medical care, and not personal care like bathing, toileting, etc. This is a concierge and coordination business. Services include weekly check-in visits to visit mom or dad, make sure everything is okay, have a conversation, observe any changes, send updates to the family, perhaps bake cookies together, decorate for Halloween, for Christmas, for Easter, and it's going to make them feel really warm and fuzzy. Now, also, they can do errands and convenience, like grocery shopping, prescription pickup, post office runs, dry cleaning, returns, and basic household errands. Technology helps, another really big one, making sure they can stay connected to their family and friends. So FaceTime setup, phone troubleshooting, password resets, TV streaming setup, maybe even put up a couple of shelves. Who knows? Whatever your skill set is. Email help. All of this alone is a huge pain point for families that really want to keep their loved ones at home and independent. Now, we also can offer appointment coordination. So scheduling appointments, arranging transportation, accompanying them if needed, taking notes for the family, and then also just simply home checkups, replace smoke detector batteries, check for safety issues, meet contractors, coordinate repairs, check for leaks, not doing the repairs, coordinating them. The next thing that's really important that this does is it provides social connection. This may be the most valuable service. Many seniors are lonely, and this concierge becomes a trusted relationship. Coffee, conversation, a walk, playing cards, human interaction. And what this business does not do, and this is super important, is no medical procedures, no medical administration, no personal hygiene care, no skilled nursing, no physical therapy, because those are complex and require licensing. So here's some example packages. Peace of Mind Basic, $199 per month, 1 visit per week, family updates, basic coordination. Peace of Mind Plus, we can do for $499 per month, 2 visits per week, errands included, appointment scheduling, family communication. $999 per month, unlimited coordination, contractor management, appointment accompaniment, and family concierge support. So these are just some ideas of what can go into this type of business. And the person that I think would be really great for this is detail-oriented, loves running errands, loves chatting. But the cool thing is I'm going to show you how we can eliminate the founder dependence here in conjunction with these pricing and packaging that I've put together, so you can have a really amazing business. Now, one thing is, all of these numbers that I just shared with you, all of those 3 packages, they are subject to change on the pricing based on where you live, how far you have to go. There's a lot of things that will go into the fine details, but I don't want you to get your head stuck around that right now and focus on the big picture, the packaging, the recurring revenue, and how we build this amazing, amazing business. The thing you need to remember as we're starting right now is everything I talk about with the Senior Concierge Business is going to be mission critical for current business owners to understand how you can apply it to your business. And also anyone out there right now that's looking to start an additional business or their first business, or perhaps even say yes to a franchise, it's really important that you understand everything that is inside my framework. Because if you don't, then it's going to be a real struggle bus for you. And you're going to be like I was in the very beginning, where I just created a really stressful job for myself. And I don't want that to be your situation. And here's the twist, like I sort of mentioned, is that this exact business could be a complete disaster, or it could become an incredible asset. Same business, same market, same customer, completely different outcome. And that's the lesson that most entrepreneurs miss. Success isn't usually determined by the idea. It is determined by the design. And the Senior Concierge Business can absolutely be 10 out of 10, or it can become that 2 out of 10 business you wish you didn't start. So today, we're going to break down exactly how you may accidentally turn a great business into a terrible one and what not to do, and fix it today. Let's jump in. It's time for Rascal Rant. Unfiltered truth, straight talk, no fluff. All right, so this is the Rascal Rant today. We have convinced ourselves that business needs to be complicated. AI, funnels, personal branding, automation, paid ads, venture capital, the next big thing. Meanwhile, some of the wealthiest people in America just own really simple, boring businesses that don't make the news, that aren't super popular on social media. And that's because most entrepreneurs spend way too much time trying to find the perfect idea and not enough time designing a great business model. So I'm going to share with you a story here, is that I helped a local barn recently create their very first summer camp. And you know how you can tell if you created the right offer with the right positioning, with the right messaging, is when it's a brand new offer for a fairly new business that sells out in less than 2 weeks and gets the most amazing reviews on Google and has repeat business. Pretty darn cool, right? So I want you to remember, if you can align your offer with the demand and all of the other pieces we're going to talk about here, it becomes so easy to sell. And so that's exactly what I want to create for you, is I want to create something that's easy to sell, that can scale, can be profitable, all of the pieces of the puzzle that are so incredibly important. So the problem isn't finding the good opportunity. The problem is truly designing one correctly. All right, let's jump in. So why the heck did I choose the Senior Concierge Business? Well, I chose it because it's sitting directly on top of a demographic wave. By 2030, more than 71 million Americans will be over the age of 65. And that's roughly 1 out of every 5 Americans. So whether you like this business or not is completely irrelevant. The market is growing. More than 41 million Americans are already helping care for an older adult. And the customer isn't actually the senior. The customer is the daughter sitting at work wondering if mom is okay. The customer is the son living 2 states away trying to coordinate appointments. The customer is the family looking for peace of mind. And here's what makes it even more interesting. The average cost of a nursing home is, oh my gosh, approaching 10 grand a month. Families want and frankly need options that help loved ones stay independent longer. The demand isn't the problem. The opportunity is here. All right. So this episode is all about scoring this business, and it's really important. We have several different key areas that we're going to be scoring on. And this is what I just like to refer to as the Rascal Business Score. Okay. So real quickly, so we know what we're going to cover across all of our scores. Score number 1 is founder dependence. Score number 2 is recurring revenue. Score number 3 is speed to first customer. Score number 4 is the startup cost. Score 5 is referral potential. Score 6 is profit margin. Score 7 is AI resistance. Score 8 is exit potential. Now, those are our 8 areas that we're going to deep dive into today. But the cool thing about this is if you have already started a business or you have another idea right now that's not mine, then I encourage you right now to pause this episode, go grab a piece of paper. Yes, I want you to actually hold paper with a pen. All right. And take notes and score your own business idea or your current business. And what's really cool about this is it's never too late to pivot and to adjust. So if you're a struggling business owner right now that feels that you've created that employee trap I talked about, it's okay, friends. You can get yourself out of it. Okay. And it's actually more simple than you think as long as you execute on what I'm going to share today. Now, if you're thinking of starting a business, and it can be an independent business or it could be a franchise, you also want to take the scoring system to those decisions. And why I like this is I strongly believe in passion and heart and love for what you do, but you can't be like a bleeding heart about it. I have seen so many entrepreneurs and business owners have a bleeding heart over a topic, and they just want to help so bad. And they do everything under the sun to try to prove people should pay them for this. And it's just a marketing misfit. It's a messaging misfit. The value is not there. People aren't interested. The economy has changed. So there's a lot of factors that go into this. And I'm creating this series because I don't want people to have to struggle as much as I'm seeing out there right now. Okay. So let's go ahead and rock and roll. All right. So most people ask, can this make money? And I think that's absolutely the wrong question. The better question is, can this create freedom and make money? So let's go ahead and start scoring. All right. So score number 1 is the founder dependence. So what does founder dependence mean? It means like what I described in the beginning of this episode. Okay. It means nothing gets sold, done, fulfilled, anything without you involved. If you were to try to go on even a week-long vacation, it would be an absolute disaster. Now, let me be clear. It's often wise for the owner to be super involved in the beginning so that you can figure out how to eliminate your founder dependence, right? But you should always build the business for it to have the highest probability of being founder independent so that you don't become an employee like we have been talking about. So here's what I call the 2 out of 10 version. All right. So what does that mean? It means that, you're failing. 2's bad. You don't want a 2. You want a 10. So how would I score in this area? So this is what a 2 would look like in this business, in the senior concierge business that we're talking about right now. 1 is you run every single errand. You answer every call. You do every visit. You become the concierge yourself because congratulations, you just created yourself another job. Now, like I said, you likely need to do all of those things for a handful of months maximum, just so you can figure out the best way to serve these clients. But after that, you need to be working on getting yourself out. So you can't get yourself out if you don't build it from the beginning to get yourself out. And that's a huge mistake that I see. So that is what a 2 out of 10 on founder dependence looks like with this business model. Now, the 10 out of 10 version, which is amazing, is after that initial period of time, well, what have you done? You've hired retired nurses, retired teachers, part-time caregivers, stay-at-home moms with extra time, people who naturally care for others. You created the standards, the training, the playbook. The founder owns the business now. The founder doesn't become the business, because this is the deal. Is stats show that small business owners routinely report working 50 to 60 hours per week. And nobody leaves a corporate job hoping to work more hours, right? So freedom isn't working for yourself. Freedom is building something that works without you. And that is a really, really key piece of the puzzle. So what does that evolution look like specifically in this business? So let's say you do all the things like I just said, right? You create the standards, training, playbooks, and let's say it took you 4 months to do. Great. So now your goal is to reduce your amount of time you're working in your business by 10, 15% every single month. And when you do that, all of a sudden you're working 15 hours a week and you've scaled your wonderful senior concierge business and you're loving life and making a great life. And then you're also have to remember about the people that you get to hire, because most people don't want to be business owners. So you're offering these caregiving personalities an opportunity to do something that they love without having to do the marketing and selling. So that's kind of awesome, right? Okay. So number 2 is recurring revenue. If you don't build a business with recurring revenue, it is extremely difficult to ever have peace of mind over financials, profit, scaling, hiring. Like if you don't know what to anticipate the next month within a certain range, it's really hard to make decisions. And when it's really hard to make decisions, you don't. And then you stay stuck in those 50 to 60 hours per week and you limit the amount of money you can make. So a 2 out of 10 version is not having recurring revenue, right? Like maybe you have recurring clients, but you don't put them in any packages like I talked about in the beginning. So you're running one-off errands, one-off visits, one-off requests, and you start from zero every single month. So that's why I suggested those 3 packages in the very beginning, because it's recurring revenue for you so you can anticipate what you're going to make in the following month. Oh my gosh, it is so mission critical. And, I don't really like the month by month here for this particular offering because you're building relationships. So I would suggest you have 3-month minimum for any of your packages in a relationship building offer like we're talking about right now. Now, a 10 out of 10 version would be what I talked about earlier, is the monthly plans that include things like the weekly check-ins, the family subscriptions, it's predictable revenue. So this recurring revenue business consistently will outperform transaction-based businesses because of the predictability. Well, what does it do? It creates the stability that you desire as a business owner. One-time revenue just creates hustle, feast and famine, and unnecessary stress. So you really absolutely have to do the recurring offer for all of these types of local businesses, or you're going to flop or be just really unnecessarily stressed out. It also makes it easier for people to make decisions without lengthy sales cycles or lengthy sales calls when it's like, pick it, option 1, 2, and 3. And perhaps rarely you have a request for a custom package, but that's fine. It just makes it super easy for people who are already cognitively overloaded by trying to take care of their parents, make a decision and get the help that they need. So make it easy to buy from you. It is really, really important. All right. So now we're moving on to score number 3. And this is speed to first customer. So this is the deal. There are some businesses out there that you could create that's going to have a really long sales cycle, but perhaps a really high contract value. So typically, the higher the contract value, the higher the sales cycle. Okay. And that's not what I'm encouraging right now. The reason why is because I'm encouraging people to start local businesses in their community because that is the heart of this country. And if you can't make money fast, it's going to be hard for you to do all the things you need to do as a local business owner. For example, rent, right? And so that's why I'm encouraging you to start a local business that's easy to get that first customer. Now, what's super cool about this business we're talking about today is that it doesn't even require rent, right? You can work from home, but still enjoy selling to your community, which is super cool. And eventually you can expand beyond your community, which is really, really fun, right? So, this is really important, speed to first customer. If you're listening to this right now, and let's say, for example, you want to go be a commercial electrician for very large projects, like I'm just kind of making this up, then like commercial projects or government projects, like that's totally fine, but just know it's going to take you 9 months to 12 months to likely close and get paid for that contract. So I highly recommend you take on smaller projects that will sell and pay you faster. All right. So speed to first customer. Here's your 2 out of 10 version. You take 6 months building a website. No. I actually saw someone in a group the other day that was going to pay someone $5,000 to build like a 3-page website for a consulting business. And I'm like, girl, please, this is 2026. You can do that in 20 minutes with AI. Like, please don't do that. Okay. So keep it simple. Keep it super, super simple. And, if you haven't taken my 7-day sales jumpstart, that's completely free. I actually teach how to use AI really quickly to do important things like this. So I really encourage you to jump in and take advantage of that. So you do not want to spend 6 months building a website. You don't want to spend unnecessary time designing a logo. AI can do that right away for you. Don't overthink your business cards. Just get them printed. They're super cheap. And don't worry about having this perfect brand, right? Because if you do that, then you end up with 0 customers for a long period of time because you're tinkering in the background. So don't tinker. Go get the customers. The way that you deliver or whatever you sell is far more important than all of those things I just said. And you need to remember that. So a 10 out of 10 version would be you're just hitting the ground running and you're thinking about sales. You need sales. Okay. So what do you do? For example, for the specific business, you visit churches. You meet estate attorneys. You talk to financial advisors. You introduce yourself to senior community centers. You start conversations. You reach out to your friends that you live close to you, right? That have aging parents, right? Customers will validate your business before you spend more than $100. Okay. This is really important. And you should be able to do that really, really, really quickly. Like, my son, for example, over the summer is doing some home service stuff. So he's picking up dog poop, cleaning out trash cans, helping clean cars, like that kind of stuff. All he did was walk around our neighborhood with like a flyer and was like, hey, does anybody need help? And my 14-year-old, not even 14-year-old, got like 5 jobs in a week. So sometimes we just overthink it, right? Go knock on a door, introduce yourself, or show up at those places that I just suggested. 100% you're going to be welcomed. Next is the startup cost. That's score number 4. So businesses can cost anywhere from $100 to start or $1 million to start, and even greater divide there, right? And so what I wanted to create in this 4-part series was something that cost very little money to set up. So with the business I'm talking about right now, for under $1,000, you should be able to start this business. And that includes all the legal side of things, entity setup, a basic 1-page website so people know you exist, printing things, all the little miscellaneous things under $1,000. And if you can't spend $1,000 to start a business, I actually don't think that you should be starting a business. You should be an employee. And that is the absolute minimum you should think of. I would budget for $25,000 before you even have a customer if you're going to go double down and just really go all in on these things. But for this particular business, you got $1,000, you can do this. Okay. So how can you screw this one up? You can go get an office space. You absolutely do not need an office space to start this business. So don't do it. Okay. It is such an enormous waste of money. This is a home-based business. Rock and roll. If you need to meet with team, you can go to a co-working space and rent a room for the day, or a couple hours you can go to a hotel. You can meet at a coffee shop. You can do it on Zoom. Okay. So please don't do that to yourself. Next thing is you don't need employees, right away at all. Like, first you have to run it all yourself. But even when you do that, you absolutely can just have 1099 freelancers. You don't even have to have the employee expense. If you want to have it for whatever rules and regulations you have in your state or your desired entity structure, then go for it after a little bit of time. But please pump the brakes on that one. Also fancy software. Like people get all in their head trying to create this business from day one that doesn't need them. And although that's the goal within the first 6 to 8 months, if you spend 4 months trying to and you're spending all your time and money to create a business that doesn't need you, you just end up being failure to launch and you have big overhead and it gets complicated. And I don't want that for you. Okay. So the 10 out of 10 version is literally you pick up your phone. You get a really simple CRM and full business management tool like Go High Level, which you can see in the show notes. That's what I personally use and recommend to all of my clients. It's $97 a month. You get 30 days free. It does absolutely everything. So I encourage you to go check it out. Now, it also means simple systems. Now, simple systems are so incredibly critical. And I actually have an upcoming episode around simple systems using Go High Level in, 5 episodes away from now. Okay. So if you go through this entire 4-part series, it will end in the 5th one with how you can create these simple systems. If you don't want to wait that long, you can jump in for free to my 7-day sales jumpstart at revenuerascals.com/the local guild. And you can start now. The rest of the elements for the 10 of 10 version is reliable people. It's really important, right? But you want to do that slowly and intentionally. Really, really critical. You also can integrate some simple AI to support you. Once again, in Go High Level is all you need for this. You don't need to go spend massive amount of money that an enterprise organization would. Okay. And then, so you don't need all of these things. You need really simple things because the goal is to preserve the runway until customers start paying you. And then you can start to reinvest some of that to grow your business. Capiche? All right. Awesome. Something has been driving me absolutely insane lately. Watching incredible local small business owners get buried trying to compete in an economy that changed literally overnight. Because now you're not just a gym owner, a med spa owner, a coffee shop owner, or a contractor. Now apparently you also need to be a content creator, an AI expert, a marketer, a sales leader, an automation specialist, and somehow still have a life. It's just too much. And honestly, most local business education completely misses the mark. It's either generic business fluff or strategies built for influencers and venture-backed startups that do not apply to Main Street businesses. So I decided to build something different. And guess what, friends? It's called the Local Guild, and it's basically the growth engine I've used helping companies scale to millions, rebuilt specifically for local small businesses. Simple, practical, fast to implement. And guess what? No MBA required. And this stuff just simply works. One of my most recent examples, we helped launch a brand new horse summer camp with 0 audience, no fancy ad agency, no massive production, no ad spend. So what did we do? Well, we spent about $300 on local marketing, not ads, actual local community-based promotion that literally took us less than 2 hours to do. And guess what? It generated over $20,000 in summer camp sales. That's over a 6,500% return. That is exactly why I built this, because local businesses do not need more noise. They need practical growth strategies that actually work in the real world. And inside the Local Guild, that's exactly what we do. We are helping business owners get more customers, increase repeat business, use AI without becoming a tech nerd, build referral systems, fix pricing, improve follow-up, and create predictable revenue. And lastly, stop being the bottleneck in their own business. And to make this insanely actionable, we created something called the 7-Day Sales Jumpstart. It's not a course. It's an activation. The goal is simple. Generate sales in 7 days or less using the exact strategies that I just had that huge return on. So if you're a local business and you're tired of guessing your way through growth, you can join today for free. And all you have to do is go to revenuerascals.com/the local guild and you'll find us there. let's move on to score number 5. Score number 5 is referral potential. So I have a love-hate relationship with referrals in a business because you can't really control when you're going to get them. And I like to control lead generation, kind of my jam, right? However, it can be the fastest way for you to generate that, especially in this type of business, to generate more business. This is a perfect referral business. You just have to manage it tightly. So a 2 out of 10 version is fingers crossed. I hope somebody talks about me after I help them. That passive approach is horrendous and will absolutely fail you every single time. You might get a little bit of luck in the beginning, but it is not a business plan, okay? The 10 out of 10 version actually has referral systems, has established partnerships, is gathering testimonials on Google My Business. You're getting introductions because you're asking for them. And these types of really simple systems end up getting referrals pretty consistently. And it outperforms a lot of traditional advertising in the beginning because you have that intimate approach to trust and conversion versus spending ridiculous amounts of money on ads in the very beginning. We want to validate what you've built makes sense for you, your community, and everything else. And this is the easiest way to do it. Okay? So I want you to think, like I said before, estate attorneys, financial advisors, churches, retirement community centers, home health providers. These all become referrals, and you can create a beautiful system that can have some simple automation, once again, inside Go High Level, so that you feel the ease of your business. Now, score number 6, profit margin. All right. So this is the thing. When people start service-based businesses, especially, they tend to dramatically undercharge because they feel like they're new and they can't charge. And you want the validation that you're doing a great job before you charge premiums. Now, there is some truth to that. Like if you've never done something like this before, like you probably shouldn't be the most expensive option because you're going to make just real simple little mistakes and you never want the value gap to be too big. But at the same time, if you continually undercharge and do everything yourself, you will burn out. So I gave sample pricing in the beginning of this episode for this business, but you need to sit down, like I said, and run it and see if it makes sense for your community, your commute, and everything else. It may need to be tweaked. Okay. All right. The 10 out of 10 version, which is really important for your profit, is you have premium pricing, you have really clear packages, clear service levels, you stay within scope, efficient delivery, revenue, doesn't have to be this vanity metric. You can really do a fantastic job at looking at your revenue, looking at your overhead, and deciding where your profit margin should be. So when I ran this business through my model, this should have about an 80% profit margin, even when you start hiring, which is super cool and so fun. And so I encourage you, if you're doing a service-based business, 80% profit margin should be your goal. It is really a strong goal. Now, if you're a product-based business, it's completely different, but that's not what we're focusing on right now. So aim at the 80% profit margin. Score number 7 is the AI resistance. Okay, so we all know it, right? Everybody's talking about AI. It's going to take my job, blah, blah, blah. Okay, for whatever. It's time to grow with what is happening. So don't start a business that can be easily replaced by super simple AI. All right? But I'm telling you right now, unless we are the Jetsons in the next 20 years and we have, what is her name? Was it Betty from the Jetsons? The maid or whatever who did everything? I think it was Betty. It might have been Betty. I'm not sure. Anyway, now you might be laughing and I might get some comments right now on YouTube or something like, yes, we're the Jetsons. And I don't really care. I would never hire a robot to take care of my parents. So even if that robot was super cool, I'm not doing it. All right. I want a human. So that's why this is like such a strong score here. And it's really, really important. Now, how can you create a 2 out of 10 business on AI resistance with this perfect business that is 100% AI resistant? Well, you can put too much AI into your communication. So for example, like don't turn on your customer service bot in the beginning because it's not going to be trained well enough and it's going to give stupid answers when people email you or call. Like, don't start that way. Start with the human, with you doing it, so that if you do turn on a chat agent, like in Go High Level, it is understanding the question and knows when it's time for a human to reply. And one thing that I love about AI customer service or selling is just disclosing that you're AI for the benefit of the prospect or the client or the customer. So for example, if somebody emails at midnight, you be in bed, right? Or your team's in bed, but they get an automatic reply that says, hey, this is AI buddy Bobby, and I'm just here to let you know that we've received your request. They repeat back what the problem is, maybe offer something that they can, chew on overnight and say, as soon as we open at 8 a.m., a human will be in contact to make sure you're taken care of. So there are some ways AI can support you to provide even better human connection and support, but you just need to be careful, right? So really, really important. So the 2 out of 10 business just says, I'm following all the trends. I'm throwing it in, and you just go for it. That would be a major mistake. Okay. And so please don't do that. The 10 out of 10 is to use AI in a supportive way. So I just gave you the example for customer service. You can also use AI to cut time down on other things like creating your website, your sales page, email campaigns, all of these other things. And if you're training AI right, amazing. It's fantastic. Okay. So that is score number 7. And if you cannot make your business as close at a 10 to 10 for AI resistance, I would really hesitate to start that right now. You're just creating yourself such a big mountain to climb and to overcome. And I don't want that for you. So score number 8 is the exit potential. Now, this is the cool thing that's happening is when you build businesses that aren't dependent on you as the founder long-term, your business is worth a lot more and it's quite frankly, super easy to sell for a premium price. And for the one that we're talking about right now, it's actually a huge opportunity for a PE firm to come in or a family office or people with a lot of money that want to do a roll-up. Because this is the type of business that would make a wonderful roll up. Let's say I have 20 people who decide they're going to start this business after watching this video, right? And you're all in different metropolitan areas. How funny would that be if in 5 years from now, someone wanted to do a roll up of Senior Concierge Services and y'all ended up making a great exit? That is what I want for you. So how do you screw this up? How do you get the 2 out of 10? Everything lives inside the founder's head. Every client asks you the questions. You don't train. You don't provide SOPs. You don't scale your operations. Every relationship depends on you. You're the face of the company to its detriment. That is a 2 out of 10 because nobody will buy that. All right. A 10 out of 10 version is you have installed your business system, your CRM, your automations, everything that you do, the processes, the training, the playbook, everything that lives inside Go High Level or where your choices, the training, the team, the recurring contracts. Ooh, that is such a good one. If you can get people into long-term contracts that have automatic renewals, that's even the creme de la creme in terms of selling your business for the maximum amount of money. Okay. Let's bring it home. Rascal Wrap-Up time. Key takeaways and a resource to keep you winning. Oh my goodness, you guys, we just went through all of these and I love it so much. So this is the deal. Remember that 71 million Americans are over the age of 65. Remember, 41 million caregivers. The opportunity was never the problem. The opportunity is literally sitting right in front of us. And the question is really whether you're going to build this business or not, or you're going to adjust yours. But what I don't want you to do is to create that trap unintentionally to just have another job, because that's no fun. Okay. I want you going out, living your life, all the best things. Okay. So please re-listen to this episode as many times as you want. So how do you take that 2 to a 10? And I want you to apply it to your idea or your current business. And I would love to hear about it. So if you do this exercise, please email me at hello@michelleterpstra.com. And I'd love to know how your business idea scores or your current business. Now, I've said it a few times throughout this episode, but I'm going to reiterate it. I am offering you the best 7-day free sales jumpstart that is available on the market. I break down everything you need to learn how to do to activate a lot of what we talked about today. Okay. So all you need to do is go to revenuerascals.com/the local guild, and you will get an email every single day for 7 days that tells you exactly what to do, what action to take. And it should not take you more than an hour a day to complete this. And you will absolutely make sales if you follow my instructions. And one thing I love about this is we talk about the messaging in the 7-day sales jumpstart. We talk about the campaigns. We talk about the pricing and packaging. We talk about how to reduce founder dependency. All of that is inside there. So please go take advantage of it. All right. So what do we got next on our plate? Okay. As a reminder, we have another episode coming up next week. And that episode is, how do you go and get those first 10 customers? So today we learned about, is this business worth starting? Next week, we're going to talk about getting those first 10 customers. Really, really important. So what I'm going to ask you to do right now is, could you subscribe, please, wherever you are watching this? It helps us so much. And it'll also remind you to keep watching these episodes that are in sequence. And if you loved us, give us a rating, make a comment. And you know what? The best thing you could do is share this with a friend that needs to hear the message. Until next time, have a great day, my friends. Happy selling, and a sign off from the Revenue Rascals team. Thanks for listening to Revenue Rascals, where we turn bold ideas into predictable revenue and prove that breaking the rules can still build empires. If you love what you heard, do me a favor. Tap the links in the show notes to support our sponsors. They're the ones keeping this show free, so I can keep ungating the strategies that help you scale faster, lead smarter, and take more freedom home with you. And hey, if you think you'd make an incredible guest or know someone who's built something worth studying, email me at hello@michelleterpster.com. And until next time, stay sharp, stay bold, and stay just a little bit rascal.